أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين واللعنة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Respected viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We were discussing the laws regarding the ghusl, any kinds of ghusl, which is the second kind of, or the second method of obtaining spiritual purification. The first one was wudu. We discussed it in a bit detail, and now probably in the last 5 or 6 sessions we've been discussing the ghusls and the laws regarding it. Okay. Another important thing that should be kept in mind while a person is doing the ghusl, whatever ghusl it may be it an obligatory ghusl or a recommended one, that anything that acts as an obstacle to reach the body, it should be removed. This is really important, because sometimes what happens is a person does the wudu, alright, does the ghusl, and then after 2 days he comes to know that there was an obstacle. Now in this condition, it's obligatory for the person to repeat those prayers because the ghusl was incorrect, right? And the same was the case with wudu, as we discussed earlier, right? So anything that acts as an obstacle that does not allow water to reach the skin should be removed before doing the ghusl. This is really important. So this is the first thing. And the other thing, the other important mas'ala regarding the ghusl is that the short hair, a person having short hair, like the ones normally boys, the men, they have, they are considered parts of the body. That means they must be washed. But it's not obligatory to wash the long hair, someone having long hair, like those of the women. So while performing the ghusl, it's not obligatory to wash those long hair, okay? So if one makes the water reach the skin, this will be enough and the ghusl will be valid. So this is regarding the hair, that if they are short, like the hair that usually men have, alright, not those extraordinary hair. Normally men that means the hairstyle that they have, that is considered as short hair, right? So that is considered, those hair, they are considered as a part of one's body and they should be washed. But as far as the long hair are concerned, they are not considered as parts of one's body, and it's not obligatory to wash those hair. All right. And all the conditions that were present that we mentioned in wudu, all of them, they are present in ghusl as well. The conditions regarding water. What did we say? While we were discussing the laws regarding wudu? We said that the water with which we are performing the wudu, it should be pak, it should be tahir. Similarly, the water with which we are performing the ghusl should also be tahir. Similarly, the water that was to be used while doing wudu should be unmixed. Similarly, the water that is used to perform the wudu should also be unmixed. It should be ma'il mutlaq. Alright, mixed water is not allowed. So if someone performs ghusl with mixed water, right, with rose water for example, so this ghusl will not be valid. This is the second thing. The third thing is the water that is being used in doing the ghusl, it should be one's own property, or the person should be allowed to use that water. Because sometimes what happens is a person steals water from somewhere, or the water is usurped in a way that the owner does not agree. In this condition, it's unlawful to do the ghusl, and the ghusl will not be considered valid in these situations. Alright, if there is any such condition, there is any such thing, the ghusl will not be in order. Okay. But in wudu, what did we say? We said that the parts that should be washed, they should be washed from the top to bottom. That means from the upper part of the forehead towards the chin, not the other way. Similarly, from the elbow towards the tip of the fingers, not the other way. The other way, if it's even if it is a few centimeters, it will invalidate the wudu. But this thing is not present in ghusl. There is no top to bottom. All right. So in ghusl, this is something where ghusl differs from wudu. In wudu, what did we say? We said it should be from top to bottom. But in ghusl, no, it's not obligatory that it be from top to bottom. This is another mas'ala regarding ghusl. Okay. Now moving on to the other mas'ala, which is 383. This mas'ala, the same mas'ala was present in wudu as well. That if a person doubts whether he has performed wudu or not, in this condition, he should perform wudu. But if someone doubts after performing wudu, he is certain, he knows that he has performed wudu, but he thinks, he is doubting whether he performed any act that invalidates the wudu. That means, did he go to the toilet? Did he sleep? Right? Did he perform after taking wudu? He is doubting, did I perform anything that invalidates wudu? In this condition, the wudu will be valid. The same thing is present in ghusl as well. If someone is doubting the ghusl itself, did I perform the ghusl or not? Here, it's obligatory on the person to perform the ghusl. Similarly, if someone is doubting after performing the ghusl, after being certain that I have performed the ghusl, I know that I have performed the ghusl, but did I make my ghusl void? Was it correct? Was my ghusl in order? In this condition, the ghusl will be deemed to be valid. Alright? So if someone is doubting in the ghusl itself, did he do it or not? He should do it. He should deem as if he has not done it, and he should do it. But if someone is doubting that was the ghusl that I took, was the ghusl that I performed, was it correct? Was it in order? Was it according to the laws? If someone is doubting, in this condition, the ghusl will be deemed to be in order. It will be correct, and there is no need to repeat the ghusl. So someone who doubts whether or not he's performed the ghusl must perform it. However, if after performing ghusl one doubts whether his ghusl was valid, it is not necessary for the person to repeat the ghusl. Alright? It will not be necessary to repeat the ghusl. So, another mas'ala regarding the ghusl, which is also really important, and people they ask this, that if while performing the ghusl someone urinates or someone does something that invalidates the wudu. Alright, suppose someone is performing the ghusl and after washing his head and the neck, the person urinates, or the person does anything that invalidates the wudu. In this condition, it's not obligatory on the person to do the ghusl, to restart the ghusl from the beginning. It's not obligatory. But he will finish the ghusl as he was doing, but will be doing wudu for his prayers. Right? That means he cannot say his prayers with that ghusl. Why? Because he urinated between, that means he urinated while doing the ghusl. So if someone does something that invalidates the wudu while performing the ghusl, I hope the mas'ala is clear. Alright? Someone after washing his head and the neck uses the toilet, and in this condition, what will happen? In this condition, it's obligatory. It's not obligatory on the person to restart the ghusl, to do it once again, but he will complete the ghusl the way it was, and he will be doing wudu for his prayers. Alright? So this is the mas'ala. It's not obligatory to repeat the ghusl if there is any minor occurrence. Alright? That means if there is any Hadath al-asghar. Hadath al-asghar is a minor occurrence. That means something that that obligates wudu is known as hadath al-asghar. Like what? Like urinating, or like doing what? Going to the toilet and sleeping and all those things that we discussed. And hadath al-akbar is something that obligates the ghusl, like being in the state of janaba, right? So if someone does something that invalidates the wudu while doing the ghusl, it will not be obligatory to repeat the ghusl from the beginning, but will complete and will take wudu for his prayers. This is Mas'ala 384 according to the sequence that is mentioned in the Islamic laws, the book of Islamic laws of Ayatollah al-Uzma as-Sayyid Ali Husseini as-Sistani. Okay. Now, if there is someone who has a number of ghusls, he has to perform. For example, someone was in the state of janaba, and in that state he touched a dead body, right? And it's also Friday, so he wanted to take the Friday ghusl as well. So what he will do, it's not obligatory on the person to do the ghusl 3 times. Wash the neck and the head, and then the right side, then the left one, and then do it again and then again. No, but with one intention, he will do all those ghusl. That means he will be doing the ghusl once with all the intentions. Alright, this will be sufficient. Doing the ghusl once will be sufficient. So they say that someone who must perform a number of obligatory ghusl, in fact ghusl al-Jum'ah, the Friday ghusl, is not obligatory, but it can be done with the same ghusl. For example, if someone is in the state of janaba and it's the day of Jum'ah, it's Friday, it's permissible that one performs one ghusl, alright, with the intention of both, he can do it, alright. So performing the ghusl with one ghusl will be sufficient for all of them. And the same ruling is that if he makes the intention of one particular ghusl, it will be sufficient for other ghusls as well. Alright? And he does not have to make separate intentions for other ghusls. And the last mas'ala regarding the obligatory ghusl is that if someone has performed the ghusl, alright, someone who has performed the ghusl for janaba, he must not perform wudu for his prayers, because the ghusl for janaba will be sufficient, and a person can enter into his prayers, can say his prayers with the same ghusl, and he need not take any wudu. So he will not be doing any wudu, but it's obligatory to that means the ghusl for janaba will be sufficient for entering into the prayers. Now, if someone wants to touch the scripts of the Quran and he has done the ghusl for janaba, it's permissible to touch the verses of the Quran. It's not obligatory to take the wudu. Why? Because that will be the ghusl for janaba will take the place of wudu, and one after doing the ghusl for janaba need not take any wudu, right? So all those things that require wudu can be performed after performing the ghusl for janaba. This will be absolutely all right, and it will be sufficient. Okay. Although the recommended precaution is that if he's performed the recommended ghusl, he should also perform wudu. They say, and now here is a masala, and this is our next topic. Till now we were discussing the obligatory ghusls, and now we'll be discussing the recommended ghusls. Recommended ghusls are those that are not obligatory. That means there are the ghusls that are mustahab. Like what? Like the ghusl on Friday. In the morning hours of Friday, one should do the ghusl. One can do it till the sunset, he has time, but it's better to do it towards the noon. That means during the noon at 12, around 12 during the day. So this is not obligatory, it's recommended. He says that if someone is doing a recommended ghusl, this will also be sufficient. It will also be sufficient, and a person need not take wudu. But the precaution, a recommended precaution, is that one should also take wudu along with a recommended ghusl. I hope the mas'ala is clear. As far as the obligatory ghusl is concerned, like the ghusl for janaba, it will take the place of wudu and one need not take any wudu after it. But with regards to the recommended ghusls, he says they will also be sufficient and one need not take any wudu. But the recommended precaution is, it's not obligatory precaution, it's recommended precaution. So the recommended precaution says that one should also take wudu along with it. Okay. Now, every ghusl that we see in Mafatih al-Jinan or Tuhfatul Awam, each of those ghusls are not recommended. Recommended ghusls are only a few. Alright, recommended ghusls are those that have been proved from the riwayat, proved from its authentic sources to a certain marja who we follow. Right? So we will be discussing the recommended ghusls right now. Now, if we go towards the recommended ghusls, the first one is the ghusl for Friday. Performing this ghusl from the time of the morning prayers until sunset is recommended. And it's so recommended, that means the recommendation is to an extent that if someone is afraid on Thursday that I won't be able to find water on Friday, he can do the ghusl for Friday on Thursday. But with this condition, that he won't be having any access to water on Friday. In this condition, he can do it on Thursday. Or if someone was not able to do it on Friday, can do it on Saturday. Because it's too recommended. So there are only a few things that have qada, a few things that are recommended and have qada. Now, taking the example of the obligatory acts, they have qada. For example, if someone misses his obligatory prayers, it's obligatory to do the qada. Someone misses his obligatory fast, it's obligatory to do the qada, right? But the recommended acts, they do not have qada, except a few of them. And one of such recommended acts that are recommended, and if they are missed, if they are omitted, it's recommended that one performs the qada for those acts. Like what? Like the ghusl for Friday. Also, like Salatul Layl, which is Namaz Shab, or the night prayers, which is 11 rak'ah, right? So these are a few things that are highly recommended, and they're recommended to an extent that they say that if you were not able to perform in the respective times, then it's recommended that you perform them after it or before it. The way they say that, for example, if the time for the night prayers is 12 and I know that I would sleep and won't be able to wake up and won't be able to say my night prayers, then it's also possible, it's permissible to say them before 12 at night, if the time was 12. Because the time it changes, it's not exactly 12, right? It's the midnight. Sometimes the midnight is 11:30, sometimes it's 11:40, sometimes it's after 12, right? It differs from different regions and in different seasons. Okay, so this is the importance of a certain recommended acts. The same is the thing with the ghusl for Friday. One can do it on Saturday if he was not able to do it on Friday, and one can also do it on Thursday if he knows that he won't be having any access to water on Friday. So this is the first ghusl that is recommended, and it's better to do it during the day, around 12, during the time of zawal. Alright, that means close to dhuhr it should be done. And while one is doing this ghusl, it's recommended for the person to say the shahadatain, to say the testifications. He should testify, he should say أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد واجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين. It's recommended that one says this while performing the Friday ghusl. So this is the first one. The other ghusl which is recommended is the ghusl of the 1st, the 7th, and the 1st, the 17th, the 19th, the 21st, and the 23rd, and the 24th of Ramadan. The nights of these days. So the ghusl for the night of the 1st, 17th, 19th, 21st, 23rd, and 24th of Ramadan. These 6 ghusls are also recommended during the month of Ramadan. So these 6 plus the Friday equals 7. Okay, the 8th and the 9th one is the ghusl which is done on the day of Eid al-Fitr, that is on the day of 1st of Shawwal, or on the day of 10th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the day of Eid al-Adha. These ghusls are also recommended. And similarly, the ghusls of the 8th and the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah is also recommended. Okay. And also, if someone touches a dead body after the ghusl is given to it, because if someone touches the dead body before giving ghusl, it becomes obligatory to do the ghusl. Ghuslu massil mayyit, the way it was discussed. Similarly, if they have given the ghusl to a dead body, right, the ghusl has been given to the dead body, and after that someone touches it, it's recommended that one does the ghusl. Ghusl for what? Ghusl for touching the dead. It's recommended. So this is also a kind of recommended ghusl, which is the 12th one, right? And similarly, when one wishes to do the Hajj or the Umrah, the ghusl which is done for Ihram, alright, Ihram is the white cloth that we put before Hajj or Umrah, right? So this ghusl is also recommended. And there is also a recommended ghusl for entering in the holy city of Mecca, the Haram of Mecca, and also entering the holy city of Mecca. And similarly, the ghusl for visiting the Kaaba, or the ghusl for entering the Kaaba. These ghusls, all of them, they are recommended, right? And the ghusl for entering the Medina, or the ghusl for bidding farewell to the holy grave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? All these ghusls, they are recommended. So Ayatollah Al-Udhma As-Sayyid Ali Husseini As-Sistani, he mentions 25 kinds of ghusls that are recommended and that should be done by someone who is in these places or in those times. Some of these ghusls are with respect to a few places, like entering the Masjid al-Haram, entering the holy city of Mecca, entering the city of Medina, and these places. These are recommended for a certain places. And a few ghusls are recommended for a certain times, like what? Like the night of the 1st of Ramadan, 17th, 19th, 21st, 23rd, 24th. The ghusl for these nights, they are with respect to the times, not the places. Wherever you may be, if this is the date, then it's recommended that you do the ghusl. Or the day of Friday, wherever you may be, if it's Friday, it's recommended you do the ghusls. So a few of them are for places and a few for times. Okay, now coming on to the next part of our discussions, which is regarding the laws of the holy month of Ramadan. We discussed all those things that invalidate a fast. They were 8 in number. Alright, starting from eating and drinking till anema, applying liquid enema, and vomiting. All of these things were mentioned. All of these things, they were mentioned in the previous discussions. if someone performs any of these acts intentionally and deliberately, all right, if someone invalidates his fast, does something, his fast will be invalidated, and in the event he does not do it intentionally, there is no problem. If someone does these things unintentionally, there is a problem, and he needs to observe the qada and the kafara, as it will be discussed in the later sessions. Kafara is not obligatory in every situation, but it's obligatory in a few of them, and we'll be discussing them inshallah. But if someone does them unintentionally, then there is no problem. If someone drinks something or eats something or does any of these things, it will not be invalidating the fast. Okay. Also, let's discuss one more thing, which is a few things that are makruh for a fasting person. That means they are not recommended. There are a few things that are disapproved for someone who is fasting. The first one is putting medications or eye drops into one's eyes in a way that the taste or the smell of that medicine, it reaches the throat. The taste or the smell reaches the throat. In this condition, it's makruh. But if the taste and the smell, it doesn't reach the throat, in this condition, it will not be makruh. It won't be makruh for the person to put these drops in one's eyes. Okay. The second thing that is makruh and it's disapproved is something that causes weakness in a person. Like what? Like giving blood, donating blood. If it causes weakness, it will be what? It will be makruh on a fasting person. So that means it's permissible that one gives blood or donates blood while he's fasting. He can do it. But if it causes weakness, it will be makruh. It's disapproved. Similarly, taking a shower, because it also causes weakness. The third thing is putting these drops or any kind of medicines in one's nose if one does not know that it will reach the throat. If there is a certain medicine, I do not know whether it will reach the throat or not. In this condition, it's makruh for me to use that medicine. But if I know that that medicine will reach the throat, in this condition, it's haram. It's unlawful to use that medicine. Right? The fourth one is specifically for women to do what? To sit in water. It's makruh for the women to sit in water while they are fasting. Right? Similarly, making the clothes on one's body wet, this is also something that makruh. And brushing one's teeth with a piece of wood that is wet, with a wet piece of wood, this is also makruh. Now there are also other acts that are mentioned, and they are also makruh, and we'll be discussing them in the next session. هذا وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.